Greetings. Bill Clinton, I am watching the Ministry of Propaganda, share, and subscribe. You must.
Good evening, folks. This is Richard Nixon, and I have some news that will surely dampen your spirits. Let's start with Sudan, where the U.S. decided to flee like rats, abandoning a sinking ship. Their diplomats scurried away, and soon after, other countries like France, Britain, and Germany followed suit. Meanwhile, China asked its citizens to register if they wanted to be rescued. A bloody mess, I tell you. Over 400 people dead and more than 3,500 injured, according to those UN folks. They tried to broker ceasefires, but the fighting continues. Now, let's take a detour to other parts of Africa. Uniformed men claiming to be part of the national military went on a killing spree in Burkina Faso. Just lovely. And in South Africa, their government had to retract remarks about leaving the International Criminal Court. Looks like Vladimir Putin, the accused war criminal, according to the IC, might pay a visit to South Africa soon. Will they enforce the warrant or play another game of hide-and-seek? We've seen this movie before when Sudan's Omar Bashir strolled into South Africa in 2015, warrant and all. South Africa didn't lift a finger, but they did earn themselves a heap of legal headaches, diplomatic tightrope walking at its finest, I must say. Now let's slide down to South America. Juan Guaido, that opposition leader who once had the Western world's blessing as Venezuela's legitimate president, got the boot and found solace in the United States. And in Myanmar, a rebel group on bicycles claimed responsibility for offing a high-ranking election official. Sounds like the country's internal conflict is heating up, folks. In the realm of corporate shenanigans, British American Tobacco got caught with its hand in the cookie jar. They violated sanctions by selling cigarettes to North Korea. To make amends, they'll cough up a hefty $635 million to smoking out those communists one puff at a time. Now, here's a surprising nugget. Democracy has apparently arrived in the land of God. Pope Francis, bless his soul, has decided to let women vote at a meeting of bishops for the first time. Big hallelujah. Maybe they'll have more say in the affairs of the Roman Catholic Church. And in jolly old Britain, their Deputy Prime Minister, Dominic Raab, had a bit of a bullying problem, so he threw in the towel and resigned. Such a shame. And in the realm of beer, Belgium went on a destruction spree, obliterating over 2,300 cans of Miller High Life beers. Apparently, those cans with the Champagne of Beers slogan were deemed counterfeit champagne. What a tragedy. And in the good old US of A, we've got people shooting their guns. Not at children, mind you, but at beer cans. Why, you ask? Because those cans had the audacity to have a gay flag on them. Well, you betcha. USA, USA, USA. Now let's turn our frowns to Ukraine, where President Volodymyr Zelensky has gone and launched a pogrom against places having Russian names. Can you believe it? Ukraine is gearing up for a new offensive against those pesky Russian forces, supposedly starting next month. The stakes are supposedly high, they say. Without a clear victory, Western support could waver, and Kyiv might be pushed into peace talks. American officials don't think this offensive will make much of a difference. Surprise, surprise. And then we got Xi Jinping and Zelensky yapping away on the phone. Zelensky claims it was a long and meaningful conversation. Well, ain't that just riveting? Now let's talk about the economy in the midst of this conflict. According to those Russian news reports, their precious natural gas exports through pipelines could plummet by a whopping 50% this year compared to last year. Poor Russia suffering the consequences of invading Ukraine. You see, Russia used to be Europe's go-to guy for natural gas, but ever since they decided to be naughty and invade Ukraine, the West slapped them with some hefty sanctions. And you know what? Europe found a way to reduce their dependence on Russian energy. They started importing liquefied natural gas from the good old US of A. Quite the blow to Russia's gas exports. Who can forget those significant pipe leaks and explosions? Oh, here's a knee slapper of a joke I heard at the Pentagon the other day. It goes like this. 6 Ukrainians and a doctor walk onto a yacht. Now, with some diplomatic news. The U.S. and our European buddies over at the Security Council apparently didn't feel like sending their foreign ministers to a meeting chaired by Sergei Lavrov. Looks like things are getting pretty icy over there at the UN. Who would have thunk it? Turning to America, the Red Cross, bless their hearts, expressed some sort of alarm about the health of those aging prisoners in Guantanamo Bay. These men who were illegally snatched and haven't even been tried have been rotting away for 2 decades in a CIA freedom facility, force-fed through their rectums. These men are not receiving adequate care in their old age. In other news, brace yourselves, folks, because shockwaves are trembling across the American media landscape. First, we heard that Tucker Carlson got the boot. Good riddance, some might say, but that's not all. Just to add some spice to the mix, Jerry Springer went and kicked the bucket. Real American values and or real American moral decline. I can't tell what those are anymore and which man stood for what, to be honest. Fox News decided to show Tucker Carlson the door less than a week after they settled a defamation lawsuit. Seems his show played a big role in spreading misinformation after the 2020 election. So he got the boot, and now everyone's speculating why. Was it the big pharma because of his COVID comments? Or maybe the imperialist neocons got him for questioning our role in Ukraine? Oh, let's not forget the deep state. They probably didn't like him giving airtime to Kennedy's Democrat presidential nomination. Or perhaps it's because he's literally a fascist. Who knows? But hey, why try and sell one news story when you can sell 7, right? And here we go again, folks. President Biden, at the ripe old age of 80, officially launched his campaign for the 2024 presidential race. What's his slogan? Finish the job. Can you believe it? The oldest American president in history wants to keep going. And if something were to happen to him, heaven forbid Kamala Harris would take over. She's already facing intense criticism from those Republicans. You know, Biden would be 86 by the time his tenure ends if he won re-election. Doesn't that just fill you with confidence? Yeah, me neither. Now let's talk about that president of South Korea, Yoon Suk Yeol. He attended a state dinner hosted by President Biden and the First Lady in Washington. Not only that, he delivered an address to the U.S. Congress. What a big shot, huh? He's all focused on South Korea's relations with Japan and the need to confront the nuclear threat from North Korea. Oh, and get this, he even sang a song for the White House, American Pie by Don McLean, of all things. I can't think of a more fitting description of the times. As the dollar loses its strength, the Africans, the Brazilians, the Saudis, maybe even the French, turn east. Bye-bye, Miss American Pie. This will be the day that I die. Well, Joe, go on. Finish the job. Well, that's it from me, folks. This is the Ministry of Propaganda, helping, you think. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell.